Bob Doris.
Thank you very much, Presiding Officer. Much has been made in the earlier debate across both days over who holds a mandate in terms of Scotland's constitutional question, given that our nation has been dragged out of the European Union against our will. Who holds a constitutional mandate as Scotland faces a hard Brexit we did not choose, with all the ensuing risks and damages that will certainly bring? And for clarity, let's be clear. The 2016 election manifesto stated, "We believe that the Scottish Parliament should have the right to hold another referendum if there is a significant and material change in circumstances that prevailed in 2014, such as Scotland being taken out of the EU against our will." The SNP won that election with 46.5% of the popular vote, and there has, of course, been a significant and material change in circumstances, with Scotland being dragged out of the EU against our will, with 62% of those voting clearly expressing a wish to retain our European Union membership. That's the context of this debate. Contrast that 46.5% of the popular vote and the explicit reference to a future independence referendum with the votes polled by the second and third parties in the Scottish Parliament. They polled little more than 22% of the vote each. Combined, that is still less than the Scottish Government's share of the popular vote for this place. Yet, over both days, we hear opposition MSP after opposition MSP lecturing and condemning the Scottish Government for seeking to implement an undeniable, explicit democratic mandate. Not a mandate for independence, but rather a mandate to ensure the people of Scotland have a choice. I'll be delighted to, Mr Kelly.
James Kelly.
Can you tell us if any poll since last year has shown a majority of Scottish people in favour of a second independence referendum?
Bob Doris.
But the even clearer answer is the ballot box, Mr Kelly. Okay? I have to say to Mr Kelly, what an affront to democracy has been demonstrated by our opposition parties here today. Now let us compare the clear manifesto commitment and the self-evident mandate of the Scottish Government with 46.5% of the Scottish vote with previous UK governments. I don't recall a 2001 manifesto commitment for Tony Blair and the Labour Party to take Britain into an illegal war in Iraq. They get 43% of the Scottish vote. Or in 1987, perhaps, a Tory mandate to govern Scotland with 24% of the vote, yet they savaged our communities with the poll tax. Or how about more recently, in 2010, with a paltry 16.7% the Tories got in Scotland, and they brought the despised bedroom tax and horrific austerity to our country. Presiding Officer, where was the mandate there? Answer that question. Opposition parties, they do not have it. So, let us take no lessons from opposition parties and mandates. Our Scottish Government simply asks to afford the Scottish people the right to make an informed choice between a hard Brexit Britain or a modern independent European Union. No, sorry, I don't have time, Joanne, my apologies. That's all the choice they're asking for. I can think of nothing more divisive in Scotland than for Labour and the Conservatives to tell the people of Scotland, irrespective of whether a person supports independence or the Union, that Labour and Tory know best. In fact, they're so convinced of their views on independence, they won't even allow the people of Scotland to have their say. The most divisive thing that the political classes can do in any democracy is to deny the people a vote in their own self-determination, and that is precisely what the UK Tory Government is seeking to do to Scotland. I believe one of the most significant aspects of the debate over the mandate to hold an independence referendum in the first place is the growing realisation that no matter what Scotland's Parliament decides, any Scottish Government of any given party colour, we need to go cap in hand to a right-wing UK Tory Government to ask for permission in the first place. Presiding Officer, that might be the legal position, but it's a democratic outrage. I want to comment briefly on the re-emerging Project Fear alliance between the Conservatives and the Labour Party, and particularly with reference to my local area. Let me tell you what the Project Fear alliance meant in my constituency of Maryhill and Springburn, and the Labour Party should really listen to this. It meant that 3 different worried individuals turning up at the Yes Hub in the Maryhill Road area of Glasgow in my constituency, complaining that the Labour Party were targeting the doors of pensioners in the area, telling them that their pensions would stop not after independence, but the day after a yes vote itself. The lies, the fears and the smears should have no place in any future Scottish referendum campaign.